Hey, good morning. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. I'm sitting here getting ready to do the daily dose for American Reversion over there. Looking through all the, excuse me while I fidget here for a second. Getting together the news and the craziness of the day and the important things too. I wanted to jump on here kind of quick and do one that I think is important for the day. And before I get to that, and the main topic is you'd better stock up, and you'd better stock up now. uh, a word for any of the martial arts people out there, kind of an important announcement for any of you old time martial artists who may not have heard, and I know for you younger people who just have an interest in this. I woke up early this morning, probably about 5:30. It's earlier than I usually do, and got on to check the news and the feeds, and there was a message there on one of our boards from Jeff Smith, who said that Bob Wall had just died. For those of you who don't know who Bob Wall, now a lot of you older guys, if you were in it from back in the day, you know Bob Wall is a legend in the martial arts. He was well, he was one of the closest workers with Bruce Lee. Yeah, you may have remember him as being O'Hara from which movie it was, Enter the Dragon, I think it was. Uh, the guy with the scar on his face, And I think I told a story uh, some time ago about how Bob was the one who was able to arrange for Bruce to get into the Coliseum to stage that fight between him and Chuck Norris, and because they weren't letting anybody in the Coliseum, but because Bob had certain contacts. I think it's probably on Patreon. I don't think I put that on public, but he was able to get in, and I think that was in a video about the importance of contacts or who you know or something like that. They say that he died of COVID. The last time I talked to him at any length, I saw him here in Kansas City not too long ago, but the last time I talked to him at any length, I think was probably 6 months ago. We talked on the phone for an hour or 2 hours, I don't know. And I believe he told me at the time he was fully vaccinated. So make of that what you will. But Bob truly was a legend in the martial. He started off as he was partners with Joe Louis in a string of karate studios out in California, out of Sherman Oaks, and then I believe Louis sold his, or was it the other way around? I believe he sold his shares to Chuck Norris, and and I don't know whether it was the other way around or not. Could have been. I don't really remember. I know that they were both involved, although Bob kept being partners with Norris ever since then, and has partnered with him in all different kinds of endeavors. So anyway, that's the big buzz in the martial arts community today. And after I got that first notification from Jeff Smith's post, that's just been all the buzz today. So martial arts lost a great one in Bob Wall. For any of you who knew him, you might check around and I'll leave that at that. The main thing today is if you haven't stocked up everything you need, you'd better do it now. I don't believe that a nuclear war is coming or anything like that. But if you've been following the trucker strikes, the trucker convoy up in Canada, and I cover that more over on American Reversion, they're doing a heck of a job up there. And I'm not going to get into the details here. I think I'm going to cover more of the details over on American Reversion, but we don't need the details here. The main gist of the fact is that truckers in Canada are going across and driving their trucks to Ottawa, while their fearless leader, Trudy, hides down here in the United States from them. And they're pretty much bound and determined to shut things down until all of the mandates have been rescinded in Canada. Now, what effect that has to the people here in the States, but and I know it's going to have an effect on you guys up in Canada. I think I mentioned over on American Reversion that one of our nephews is an over-the-road driver, and he told us the other day that there are plans in the making here in the United States for something just like this. So prepare for a trucker slowdown, a trucker shutdown, a shutdown. You know, when Trudeau said that this was a fringe group with how did he term their opinions? He said something like unacceptable views or something like that. You know, and he says they're not going to last long. Well, apparently, the last thing that I saw on some group chats was that about $10 million may have been raised. Now, if that figure is not exactly right, you know, so be it. But we all get whatever information we get. And you know, I having followed the amount of money that's coming in, and by the way, some of those stories about the what's that, GoFundMe being frozen, that wasn't exactly the truth. But anyway, they say some of these truckers have said, if we've got enough money to keep our trucks parked in Ottawa around the capital for 2 to 4 years. And imagine what that would be like. And then imagine if that really happens down here in the States. And it could. You know, I don't have any, you know, idea that the majority of truckers would do that, but enough can do the job. You know, and I would suggest any of you guys out there, any of you drivers, you certainly have our support for doing something like that. Everybody who can push back on this is important, but I'm getting more into politics there, which is more on the other channel. The preparedness thing if there is anything that you think you need for the next year, you ought to go out and get it now. Get it now. It's not going to get any cheaper. You know, and I know not everybody's got all the money in the world, but whatever you can afford. I mean, you're going to need it, right? And if you're going to need it, you'd better have it, because if you've seen the stores like I have, you know, the stores aren't empty. I mean, it's not like Soviet shopping quite yet, but boy, there are some big holes in all the shelves, and like the milk cases at Aldi where we go, you know, to where they used to have 4 or 5 pallets of milks, you know, stacked up behind the one in the door. There's maybe a half a pallet there with nothing behind it. And a lot of things that we often buy aren't there anymore. So anyway, that's the thing. Preparedness is responsibility. It is the ultimate responsibility to be prepared for anything that comes down the road. We're getting ready for a snowstorm here. I hope it comes. We're all excited about it because we haven't had enough snow up here this year, and so we're hoping for that tonight. But being prepared is the ultimate responsible act, and you have to pay attention of what's going on in the world, and be prepared for the incidentals. But long-term preparedness is what you're after. So let this be, you know, hopefully this will either be a good lesson or a hard lesson for a lot of people. It'll be a good lesson if you get out there and do it. And for those who don't do it, it's going to be a hard lesson, I'm afraid. So get out there and do it. I'm going to jump over and do today's video on American reversion. Join me over there in a little bit. If you'd like to, we'll talk about the politics of the day and other things. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.